have Mr. Senthil, who is an expert in technology and has been working in the space of for over 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. And he works in the space of AI, generative AI, misinformation, and a great expert who has been doing great work. And I would not like to say much about you, sir. I want you to share as I go on and asking you about your work. Um, so I want to ask you first about, how did you like what inspired you to join this industry? And if you reflect back, how do you see that, the pattern of technology growing? Uh, we like I and you, if I'm not mistaken, that we come from a times when there was dial-up to access internet, and today we are in the space when artificial intelligence has taken a lot of space. So, how do you see the whole rise of technology?
Okay, so I grew up with science fiction, and I believed a lot of things which were said. Okay, so probably people will predict future, and some people who get start believing it actually will invent the future. That's how the cycle goes off. We have seen it with rockets and satellites and spacewalk. Yeah. So 2001: A Space Odyssey talked about AI and people living in space and spacecrafts and will AI. That's how the story comes into play. So we are actually over 25 years behind schedule. So common people going to space is still off the mark. Maybe 120 years back, maybe going to flying itself would have been a what people are absurd, right? Now those became possible. So, but what I feel is last 50 years, we stopped advancing in certain spaces. Okay, let's say like space technology and certain other area like nuclear for various reasons. So we kind of decelerated on those areas. We could have done a lot more. But the part was since when you top researchers and scientists and engineers, right, they're not given those challenges. They go into other areas and improve that. And a lot of these people come into information technology, computers in some sense. Okay, they invented a lot of these things in that part. So probably I believe Elon Musk is the one who can actually take us to moon. Okay, so it's been over 50 years. Before I was born, last time when humans went to moon was over 50 years back. And hope by next year we'll have Artemis mission which will land on the moon, and probably another decade we'll have humans on Mars. So that's how the timeline goes. Okay, this is one part of it. So I okay. I am a self-learned programmer. I learned a lot of things. Okay, so nobody told me you do this or don't do this. Whatever was interesting to me, while I could practice it, what people information available, I got into it. I got into Linux in 90s. Maybe I was hating Microsoft. I was hating different companies because of that part, because they were against open source. And exploring those kind of things, and eventually got into programming, and then eventually built a software company. That company became big actually. Then I got bored of, because eventually you're serving customers for all the service companies and large companies. What we're in, I said maybe I should do a startup per se in some way. I've been exploring it in that space for some time. And while I was pursuing my previous startup, which was into movie space, I was seeing some early signs. So I was trying to become a creator. Okay, what are problems? A lot of not everybody can be employee. Okay, so human civilization was not evolved to people becoming employees. Right, that was not the destiny of humans. We had to do a lot more. We explore other things. So one of the intermediate part was people care about a lot of things, and people love to be entertained, and people want to create new things. It could be a cave painting, which we did 50 years back, or actual painting in some way, and new types of art which came in over the period of time. So the extension was if people can be creators and can they make a living out of it. And the highest level of creation as of today is actually movies in terms of amount of money or time and effort. And that's the only place where people leave their homes. We don't leave their home. We can buy everything at home. But if you want to watch a good movie on a big screen, we have 4K TVs and all kind of things is great, and maybe our audience at home may be better. But as a group experience, we go to movies, right? So highest quality of content in that screen. That's a movie theater. Okay, so best creative people from all over the world, from good story to good looking actors and great performances and effect, everything. So it's a whole package which comes into play. Okay. So yeah, science fiction movies one part, but again, all the movies are into that part. And then you realize, why don't they make this kind of movie in Tamil or Hindi or any other language? So that's a challenge which we see. And then we see bad version of dubbed content in some way. Dubbing is okay, but subtitle is not there. Like no Indian movie, at least when we take it a couple of years back, no movie is first subtitled in a local language. It is all subtitled in English because either Netflix asked for it, Prime asked for it, they will subtitle it. They don't care about that part. Now it's hardcore one come to play. But I'm saying every language, if content is subtitled a lot of language, it will work. Okay, so we can, let's take example, let's say Korean content, K-drama, right? They promoted their content. So their songs can have only Korean, pure Korean or thing. Nobody will like it. So they would want to have every song will have great visuals, performed at scale, and all the songs will have a lot of English lyrics. And that's what the jungle. Some Korean words between a lot of English also, and good-looking people, perfect choreography, and a lot of variety they did. So why don't Indian content do it? That's an interesting problem which I believe it's worth solving, and that's what I was aiming to do it. Okay, normally creation is a costly process. There are people who are struggling and people who have succeeded. People who have succeeded can't be changed. People are struggling; they're looking for opportunity. So somewhere in between is where I think I see opportunity. Either I have to become a creator or I should become an enabler for these people. So can I influence people in some way? And I thought once the AI was coming in, I saw opportunity in this space, and I started a startup called Muonium AI. We are creating tools and services, everything to enable creating high quality content. Can we make an anime? Can we make a storyboard? Can we make a music? Can we make people sing? Can we resurrect dead people as artists? A lot of people didn't get their dues or not get the roles which they should have got. Is what I have feel. Okay, a lot of always people are. I miss a lot of old singers. Okay, let's say Mukesh. Kishore Kumar, S.P. Balasubramanian, people who are not the maybe there's a Tamil comedian called Vivek and there are other artists. They didn't get. Probably they should have got more, or maybe they should have lived for longer, giving us more soulful content, right? Which kind of entertained us. Okay, uh, all the new content. I'm maybe more of a 70s, 80s, or 80s and 90s kid. Maybe I can say that's what my part would be. I will not. So my content, my interest is in that part, and I also loved content from 60s and 70s as well. A good content, good music that will work for me. So it was not a star or whatever, but I loved a few people, and I want to make sure. What if this person says it? Okay, I'm listening to a voiceover in some. What if this artist had sung this song? What if instead of this hero? See, a lot of in movies we hear, okay, this movie is supposed to do the movie, he couldn't do it because of dates, and somebody else did it. Well, what if the original movie was done to the original person? Something. So these are kind of these are all thoughts which you come into mind, and can we do it? So these are problems that I thought I saw. With the power of AI, we are able to solve many of them, and that's how we started this.
That's so interesting. From a creator's journey to coming into whole tech savvy industry now. uh, you've overgrown of with your thoughts that what you could think is not possible, and you've tried to put in that. And two key catchy words: enabler or creator. That is somewhere that that just struck my mind, because that is where now technology is also deep diving. We need to become enablers in at some point of time. So when you talk about AI, when you talk about that, how you are trying to solve through tools with creators, with those thoughts and with those minds. So how do you see, if I talk about misinformation as a topic, because that is something which is very much growing in India right now.
Okay.
Uh, when we talk about the content that is being created, what people are consuming, what people are generating. If I talk about misinformation, I just want to understand that, what do you think? How can the advanced AI technologies be leveraged to combat the spread of misinformation effectively?
Okay, let's first talk about what movies are. Okay, movies is 100% scripted, 100% synthetic content. Okay, maybe there are real people, but somebody has each voice, each sound, each visual you're seeing, somebody has planned it, executed, or approved it, either at editing scale or recording scale or shooting, and somebody had budgeted. That's a whole thing. That's how movies work. Okay, so we created a capability of building anything. Can we make a younger Amitabh Bachchan, angry young man in a new movie? Yeah, we could do that part. Can we have an anime version? We can create. Okay. So as a capability, we have built all these. Okay. Now that part is, can it be misused? I'm saying every tool in theory can be misused. Now the whole part is, if it's become easier and a lot more people can do it, how do you go about it? Okay. So I will say, talk about one part. We are a startup. We focus on movies. Election is a kind of a distraction for us. Maybe we'll make some bucks while we do it, and we don't have to raise funding immediately. We can extend our runway. That's what, as a startup, we could do. Okay, and there are more startups who are in this space. There are a couple in Delhi and Bangalore, other places who are doing for voice, and some are doing for video. Some other doing for digital marketing and other area. Okay. So who are helping different companies, and anyway, people getting paid is an important factor for us. Okay. So, but what I felt was, before the election was that, see, technology, like, yeah, can AI do a lot of other things? Yes, probably it can do it. Okay. But there are positive use cases and negative use cases. Only highlighting negative use cases or creating fear in the mind of uh, people, right, who are confused or doubtful in some way, right? We shouldn't be doing fear, uncertainty, doubt kind of thing for AI. That's what our intention was. So I spoke to other people who are in this area, who get a lot of coverage in this space. So I reached out to those people, I connected, and we said, okay, we should, because we are public people in sense. Okay, I'm as visible. My WhatsApp number is available. People can message me. I can respond back. I can come on a call quickly. This is what, I'm as accessible as possible. Okay, I'm not a celebrity in that sense. Uh, and we'll be here for longer term. We'll be doing our other businesses, could be a marketing business, whatever. We'll be doing a lot of anything in this space, anyways, right? Besides the election part, I'm saying election happens now, finishes, and maybe by June it's all done, right? And probably we'll move on to. I'm saying we all will be available, and we'll be doing the business. And since we are startup and funding, we need to get raise funding. We have to work with customers globally. So reputation is very important for us as well. So we don't want to do all the shady things. That's the whole part. I'm saying, how do we tell the world, okay, we are actually this kind of people and we want to do it in this way? So what we did was, we created an ethical AI coalition. So we identified particular startups and, okay, hey, we said, like, let's have very simple content. This is not for lawyers. This is not for investors. I'm saying, people, if they read it, they should understand it. No legal terminology there. Just 7 points. We said, okay, hey, and the first point we said was prioritize was election, was because the election part. And before the election commission did a dictation, I think we released this officially as a manifesto. A couple of startups have agreed in principle. They have signed it. Others have said in principle, but will get back formally on that part. So this is what we have announced. So we are not here to manipulate elections or make people steal elections. That's not what our intention is. Can we create good quality content? I think my focus is, okay, can I create 4K theater quality content with people in some way? That's what I'm doing. Okay, interesting content is what my part is. See, can there be shady people doing shady things? Always possible. Okay, probably it's going to be just before election, some CCTV kind of footage quality content will come in, which will show somebody taking money or some kind of sexual acts in some way, and that is not, don't vote for this person. It's not vote for whom. It's not, that is the kind of content which might get spread, and that is better controlled by a platform which can where distribution happens. So probably Facebook, other people are going to do something in that space. They have started a new group where they can share the video and they can say, is it AI generated one, a fake or deep fake? That kind of thing will be come into that part. So we are seeing all space that part. But I'm saying, those who do outside India, those who do with some kind of, let's say, underground people somewhere, we can't see that part, okay? But at least the companies who are, we are doing it legitimately for multiple companies. We are offering service to all the parties. It's not, okay, only one party I will do. I'm not do that part. Say I have one vote. I can, whom I like, I'm going to vote. That's okay. But as far as work is concerned, hey, this is a content. This is a creation for us. Okay, a printing process doesn't, okay, if it says, okay, only I will print what I like, that may not be scalable in some way. Or as a restaurant, okay, only people believe in these things only can eat here. No, we are not at that point. Hey, we are offering a service for public service, right? We create content. That's what our intention is. So now we have CC2P, okay, so where we have some kind of watermarks, digital watermarks we can embed. Large platforms are using it. We have not been mandated yet, but we are exploring how we could leverage that part. See, it opens new opportunities where we never had earlier. That's how I see it. Okay. So misinformation detection, we can do some work on it. Can we analyze? Some people have shared us videos. Can you identify how it was done? Right. So people ask us, journalists have asked us when we have done some work for them in that space, identifying the source content, or if say, okay, the voice is real or not, or whatever. So we have done some work on that space. Can we create fakes and deep fakes? Yes, that's a whole capability which we have built. Really, everybody has that part. But what is the purpose and whom are we doing it for, and what? That's how I will determine it.
Certainly, because because the content that is being created is very much influential also now. Whatever we content that we consume, somewhere we build our own thought processes watching that content, whatever comes across, be it on the socials or be it on internet anywhere. We try to build a perceptions over there. And also now today, when we see deep fakes, you mentioned about deep fake. Deep fake content has been generated. And if I talk about your creator aspect where you can have multiple kind of voices and multiple kind of videos that replicate one person. So
Hmm.
deep fakes and then also AI generated content. Very
Okay.
recently, very recently, YouTube kind of flagged that, now ahead of elections, that any content that is created out of Gen AI, it will be written, mentioned there that, it is AI generated content. So that is,
Actually, that the purpose is different. Actually, okay. So YouTube has their built their own VC. They have the largest video data set. Similarly, Facebook has a huge data set of image and reels and kind of. Okay. Both have they built their AI, which can actually create all kind of content, including synthetic content in some way. Okay. They will launch it post US elections. That's about November, December is what, or maybe January is what they will launch it. So they're preempting that part. See, Apple is going to announce, okay, June 10th or 18th is what their next version of iOS will be launched, right? So iOS 18, I think. So they are going AI in a big way. They're tying with every AI provider from OpenAI. So OpenAI should have released like, GPT-4 has been kind of beaten in some ways by Claude and other models. Okay, why they're not releasing it? Because they would have some kind of exclusivity with billions of dollars from Apple. So I expect some GPT 4.5 or 5 announcement during the Apple event. Right, this is what I'm expecting. Okay. And that's just after the election. So that's a good part which comes into play. Think of it. If you've seen OpenAI Sora, right? So when I started my company, I said, okay, these should be become possible next 1 year. And we're talking about literally it's acceleration, right? So uh, like think of it in 2022 when we are doing first set of open source models came in, let's say stable diffusion, right? If you have a CPU, it will take about 4.5 minutes to generate one image. 5 to 5 to that's about quarter megapixel in some way. Okay, and by last year we had a GPU and a good quality GPU and software. We have got it into about 4 seconds for image. Okay, now we have trying some internal models where up to 100 images per second we are able to generate. That's 10,000x speed improvement. Okay. What will happen after that is if you can generate 100 images per second and if you can make it consistent, literally a real-time video is possible. Okay, so you are talking about deep fakes. Let's talk about super fakes. So next level would be super fakes. In theory, what will happen is, how do you know I am the one who's talking to you? You can't prove. So in person, you can touch me, feel me in some way. That's the only way of proof. Okay, if you take a photo of yourself, else everything you see may be fake. That's the whole part, right? So my voice, I have cloned it. My last 25 years of emails and everything which I have cloned up whatever style I talk. It's available. My face, everything is 3D model. I have models of myself. Okay, so I have done internal trials, but we don't do on a real time basis yet. Real time is still some issues are there. But think of it: next 3 months, 6 months, 8 months time, or maybe 12 months time, we at least people could afford. They can have a synthetic clone of themselves operating on their part. Okay, think of it. Okay, see, let me create a. I'm an introvert. People won't believe, but I'm introvert. Okay, I'm not a very social person. I'm very comfortable with machines. I'm very comfortable with other concepts and something, but not into humans. Okay, what if I can create a bot and I want to become popular? Let's think of I'll get a bot which will operate my iPhone or whatever device I use. And goes and wishes everybody on their birthdays, reminds them all the part and some good remembers, memories, everything. I will take a good name in front of my wife's family. Right? I don't much of that part. So can I make calls on my behalf? Okay. Lot of them I'm emailed or CC'd on so many emails, right? Acknowledge it. Okay, receive the email. That's all. If I can do it quickly, 24/7, right? Nearly half my time will be saved. Is it worth my time? So probably rich people are going to get those clones first. The only thing you want to, okay, hey, how do you protect that model getting leaked in public? That's the whole part which you manage. So like I'll give example. Okay, so nearly half of what we have seen in Black Mirror actually is possible today. Nearly every episode you're seeing that. Okay, so from 1, 2, 3, you can go and say, okay, hey, this. So I evaluated that part. How close are we to the reality in some way? Okay, so what we proposed 8 years, 10 years back, we thought it's far away in future possible. What we see in Matrix or what we see in her movie, right? So today, if you see, there are several device manufacturers making devices without screens. These are not some speakers, okay, smart speaker. These are devices which you're wearing on a heart, or it could be a phone. Okay, think of it as an app which listens to you, knows your email, and it can talk to you in some way. This will fundamentally change how humans live and evolve. That's how. Uh, this is how I see technology going today, actually, right?
That is like you just mentioned about super fakes. That was not somewhere in my thoughts as well. But when we talk about all these, technology which is on rise, how do we look into the safety aspect of it? Because see, cloning has become very easy now. Uh, be it voice, be it face, be it images. So how do we look into the safety aspect of it? Basically, somewhere to the point that I know that my photos are being kind of, deep fake. Like, I have replicas of my photos. So how do we look into the authenticity of it? How do we look into the credibility of it? If you can just highlight something on that.
Okay, see, global populations are 8 billion people. Okay, it's not 8 billion unique faces. Okay, so let's take, okay, currently the highest quality of facial recognition available is on iPhone. You can have a facial recognition. Okay, they have a projector which is shooting infrared rays on a face. What 20 to 50 dots they're pushing on, and literally they're getting a 3D version of the face, and they see that and match it with the internal database. Okay, so whichever faces they are known to. Okay, 1 in 50,000 people can beat, or the second person 50,000 can beat face recognition on iPhone. So probably there are about 50,000 unique faces is what we have. 8 billion people mean, so there'll be, we have heard of them, at least 7 people exactly like you. That will be, you can find people with similar hair, similar nose and everything. Will they match? Probably that exists. You can't differentiate on that part, okay. Voice also, this is basically, think of it as a 3D space. You don't have billions of voices. We can say, hey, this sounds like this person looks like this person. We see small kids and people are predicting, hey, this looks like his father or mother, right? So we are already saying these things. So it's not that unique. We think, okay, hey, we are pretty unique. No, probably we are not that unique. Okay, think about it. Okay, my DNA is unique. How much percent of DNA is unique? Probably 0.14%, 0.13%, even lower. Between siblings or cousins, it will be even lower for you, right? So it's not anything unique on that part. So our uniqueness is kind of overrated in some way. Are it being, what is the purpose somebody is using it? Can it be considered misuse in some way? That's something which we have to work on. Couple of things happening. Okay, so only one country creating regulation will not stop or solve the problem in a big way. Okay, it's going to be a lot of the problem. It's all the top research is happening in US, and all the regulations and restrictions are put only by Europe. They are far behind in the part. Okay, so they're not. They're more in business of regulating that sort of thing. India, we have to see. Okay, how do we use this as an opportunity to grow? That's how I would see it. Let's wait for some kind of framework emerge. Okay, so this is still early period. This is not a late period where everything will happen. We are seeing a lot more acceleration happening at current levels. Okay, so we shouldn't preempt, but what we say is existing laws, how it could be implemented. Okay, if somebody is kind of misusing your identity for doing theft, whatever XYZ thing, how will the current laws be? It should be logical. Just don't say block technology. Don't should be allowed to do these things. That's not probably right approach to towards it. That's how I would judge it. Okay. So I was mentioning earlier that we can clone. Okay. So think about it. Okay. So how animation is made. So first part, you are talking to me. I can have one AI model which listens to what you are saying, probably, and it'll do a ASR, automatic speech recognition. It will identify text what you have spoken. There can be another AI which can take the video thing and say, okay, hey, what your expression is. Are you happy? Are you angry? What emotion? It guesses it, and if there's a previous context to it, I can identify, recognize you. It creates a content, and then this can be sent to a local LM, okay, a large language model with RAG, so retrieval augmentation. So we can say, hey, what is the context she's asking this question? Already we have a media, mail, and everything coming into play. Then a response generated. Then there's a text-to-speech version working. So it generates speech version of it. And then probably it should come in my voice. So that's again created. 1, 2, 3, 4 step. And after that, for this speech, I have to have a face and movement and probably a lip sync also happening for that. So XYZ thing, it can do it. Okay. So as of today, about 400, 500 millisecond, it is currently available. We have trusted those kind of thing. It's still not perfect, slightly off the part. But record content is straightforward. I don't think that's a big challenge. Already this year, we want to see lots of ads on Instagram to influencers, everything, which will be all synthetic generated. Okay. So And another 6 months, 1 year, once we have a faster part. And also we are seeing another movement where instead of doing everything on cloud, right? Like we don't do much on cloud. We do mostly our local because that reduces latency and we have better control over what kind of models and tools we build. Okay, so think about a big server with multiple GPUs and each running different models. You have low latency. Within few milliseconds, you can process or do it a streaming version and interact with it in some way. There are still some problems. Okay, what if I am speaking, you interrupt me? What should happen for that? Those kind of still being worked out. I think OpenAI is going to release a model for voice engine is what they're working on. If that kind of thing comes into play, uh, it'll be kind of impossible to distinguish. Okay, is a real person or not? That's how. And the quality will keep improving every few weeks, few months. The quality automatically increasing and the performance increasing. So this is what is happening. And think of a future. Okay, so think of 8 billion humans and 100 billion AI-generated humans who are helping us solve our misery. That's all right.
That's perfectly to kind of, define. But I want to understand that, how do you see the potential limitations over here? Because there are mechanisms that are being posed to kind of, how AI is growing. Like there are people who are kind of working to counter it as well. So how do you see the potential limitations or challenges in using AI also today? Um, Especially when we talk specifically to misinformation or the content generation part of it. How do you look into that?
So regulation should be on that part. Okay, let's say if somebody does this, what is the consequences? We can work on the consequences part. The only other challenge would be how quickly can we call out something is fake or something is misinformation. Okay, it need not be AI at all. Right? Think of it. Okay, yesterday a ship crashed into a bridge right in US, and immediately the news which was published was 22 Indians were crews where Indians trying to destroy a bridge is not the intention. Okay, see the system how it works is scientific research that will say anything critical ports and location only US certified Maryland certified pilot will operate the ship till it goes onto international waters. That's how they operate. But the first news which came out was 22. Okay, 22 Indians. Okay, should all the journalists see? People want to break news quickly. I want to be the first one to report it. So people kind of get overboard, or sometimes certain words and keyword gets more traction for people. So we use it for different reasons. So is it a human invention or whatever? Right? So maybe people get attracted very easily to negative news. Positive news is pretty boring, right? If see, think about it, if you watch Doordarshan, you will see okay, world is kind of peaceful and everything. And if you see some other, let's say, Aaj Tak or maybe Republic in some way, people are shouting and fighting. Whole world is going to war, right? That's our approach. So we have to have a balance on what is right, what is wrong, and how do you project it. Okay. Or can we see again? I'm saying now, see, every human has some beliefs. They have prejudices and everything. Okay, nobody's neutral. Nobody's center. Okay, most people don't tell their express themselves. That's the whole part. We think they may be neutral in some way. Or people are claiming experts. Expert definition also kind of changes in some way. So I believe if somebody puts the news, I like the model which like Twitter or X does in community notes, right? If somebody puts the news immediately, if somebody can come on give a context. This is out of context. This is old video, and the whole virality will go around immediately. And we're seeing people using they will not give code, they will not give references. We will steal your content, post it somewhere else. Hey, this kind of originated by this person, not shot by this person. Like, that is enough, and this is done very fast, probably within seconds or minutes. Okay, humans in person cannot go and verify all the facts. When a news is happening on real time, we can't do that part. So what if an automated tool in support of AI does the first version and then journalists work on it? So I've seen a new version called I think Claude Journalist. It's a new agent people are building where news could be verified on real time basis. So we are also exploring that part and saying, hey, can somebody explore that part? Can you see? You have to check multiple contexts. Go check Wikipedia, check on a Twitter feed, check when other people, other posting, is a Telegram bot which can answer it, right? So each news, there's a specialized news sites available. Or whom should I ask for this? Who's the expert in that space? Quickly, right? We have to do all these parts, and that juggling, maybe AI could be better at doing it. Or if you have to think about it, a lot of people, journalists have messaged me, okay, I want to have an interview or whatever. They reached me out or either Twitter or Instagram or whatever. So shoot that message automatically. And once a response comes in, then maybe you see how we can react from that. So that could be a mechanism, and probably we will be in a position at some point will be where AI can explain its logic. Why did you give this answer over that answer, right? So I'm not saying AI. See, whatever data is available in public is what has been trained on. So there will be some bias in some way. But at least give me a logic explanation. Do you think this person is good or bad? This guy say like Hitler, whatever some people are saying. Give me justification why you're doing that part. Like Google did that part. Google, their images, they couldn't generate images with a white president can't be generated, right? That creates doubt in people. Hey, this is it's a kind of a woke AI in some way. Maybe the technology was there, purpose was great, but the way it was presented to people changed people's version of AI. Maybe they have to go away with whatever happening with the current model and they have to solve it in a different way, right? Gemini is still it's like kind of still but that like they could continue with Bard, see how the reaction was, and then upgraded, but maybe they kind of missed out when they released the image model.
But somewhere I feel that, AI is becoming more of like more sophisticated. Like it's for a very niche audience right now. Like how it is growing, how people are understanding it. This will take like couple of years, I think, for people to kind of even understand what AI models are, how it is,
Okay.
how it is being consumed, and how the content is being also generated. That is my belief. So when I talk about, it is evolving. Every day AI is evolving. The dependencies are also growing because automation is there, right? Large machine learnings are there, models to kind of capture is there. um, but if I talk about strategies, so what would you recommend that, that should be implemented to educate the public about recognizing and critically kind of evaluating content, misinformation that
Okay.
is facilitated by AI?
No, let's go back. Okay, what I will say is, like, journalists is predominantly filled with people who are not engineers. Let's accept the fact. Okay, because people chose arts or languages, humanities in that sense. Okay, people chose that, and medium currently like the news, TV, television, medium for humanities or storytelling is what the medium is. Okay, the builders went away into doing engineering or becoming business or entrepreneurs in some way. That's how the division happened somewhere at that point of time, and people don't agree with each other. That's a very common thing. Okay, so what I think is this AI is solving a lot of other problems. So think of it. I'm expert in writing code. If that is my skill, okay, I can't write. I can't speak well. I can't. So that challenge will happen. I can't go into media. I can't go into these spaces. Okay. Or when I was studying, I thought maybe if you want to go to engineering, only maths and science, maybe STEM is so important. Maybe languages, history, and geography may not be important for me for my role. So a lot of people have left that part. Suddenly, what has happened is, what if language could be the medium, natural language or English could be a way to write programs? Think of it. Right? And suddenly you become great in writing programs because you are very good at communication. So that's a fundamental change that happened. Okay, and people are thinking writing great prompts are great. I'm saying AI is getting smarter and smarter. Probably we don't need to do prompting. Okay, we'll eventually have some neural chips or somewhere where it can understand our brain, it can read our mind and give us answers. That's the mode which is going into. Okay, when last year when we did, I did create a couple of content. Okay, we did a video where we replaced actress Tamanna for a jailer movie, Tamanna with actress Simran. Okay, so she did more movies earlier, maybe a decade, 2 decade back. She did a lot of movies. Now, not the leading actress for now, but she was dancing amazingly well. So when we replaced it, when people saw, people believed it's a true actual video she's dancing it. And then though hashtag said it's AI generated, everything was there, people didn't realize that, and people are sharing the content. You see Instagram reel, it's great. You will not read what are messages there because you don't put the content. You'll fail. I don't put any watermark or anything. Movie was included in some way. Similarly, we did something for the other song came in, which was Ratamare song. Rajnikant was a father, son, and grandson. That's kind of story goes in that part. And it's a very emotional song. But the song singer was Vishal Mishra. But the problem with that part was Vishal Mishra's voice is very amazing song, but a young voice. I thought it didn't suit Rajni, so we replaced that voice with SP Basuni's voice, and both generated a huge kind of a slightly controversy. A lot of awareness happened. What is AI and synthetic communication? Okay, so first part, people whatever is unbelievable, there's a very good chance it may not be true at all. Okay, or even if somebody looks believable, if you want it, go verify it, check it before sharing it. So these are kind of things which we can recommend and promote and work on it. Okay, if somebody says, okay, hey, your pension will be cancelled, your deposit will be government will take over it, or land will be acquired. So people can give misinformation happens at different point. Okay, somebody has to conceptualize it. AI is in person. It's not designed to be evil. In the hand of some evil people, it can act like that. That's the whole thing which comes into play. Okay, so the idea is those who are behind it, will they face law in some way, and hope law also doesn't take years to give judgment. If we can be quick and fast in some way, that's a good approach towards it. Okay, so existing laws, we can apply some part of it. Hey, if you do it for this purpose, or if it is a creator, at least this is a AI creator, market somewhere, it's AI generated some way. That's good enough for people to work on it. Okay, if you are, can we ask people to sign their art? Each painter signs it, right? I am the creator for it. If people can sign who's the creator for it and who's emerging it, and probably we can have other systems to track it. Kind of was originally created and shared on Telegram, then it went into WhatsApp, then it was posted somebody on Instagram, and the accounts were not verified accounts. So there are areas which we can probably work on. So this could be approach is possible. Okay, but this needs fundamental discussion. Okay, so why people are doing it? Are people bad because they are anonymous, or anonymity is a feature of social networks? We have to work on that part and then solve it. Okay. See, one rule fits all may not work. Right. We have to accept people are adults and we have to treat them as adults. Right. See, on a Netflix content, other content, we were okay for seeing kissing scenes. I think for a regular movie or a season, we'll have a lot of restrictions on that part. So, do we have? Why do we need censors after 70 years of independence? Probably that's a different question. Okay, can we have age suitability, and can people judge it in some way? Hey, show it to 100 people and say, how will you judge it for a particular audience? Maybe that's a better approach. We'll see how emerges. Okay, nearly all these areas I'm talking about, wherever you're involving humans, currently some form of AI is actually also possible to do automate these things. And we are exploring all these parts. So I'm not looking at only one or two tools and saying, hey, there are 100 problems we solved in AI on movies, and can we, how much AI is working, and maybe every space we are exploring, is there a possibility of using it? So that's how I see the future. Okay. So I believe human plus AI will be always better than humans alone. That's how my perception is.
Wonderfully put, because when we talk about the usage of AI, we also look into the interdisciplinary collaborations over there, right? What you mentioned about that, um, people studying one particular subject, right? Now there are intersectionalities where student can also opt for computer studies with, of course, courses of arts. So that can be integrated. Like there are integration models. So intersectionalities are there. So when we talk about this, we talk about collaborations, right? Technologists are there, social scientists are there, journalists are there, policymakers are there. So how do you think that, all of them coming together, how can we develop a comprehensive solution to mitigate the impact of, um, basically, when I talk about misinformation, using AI technology?
Okay, so all I'm saying is let's start with some other. So there are some other differences available between technology and people. Okay, let's take example. Okay, so I'm wearing this T-shirt. If I find another guy with exactly same T-shirt, I have no issues at all. I will maybe talk to him and say, hey, hi, and say, where you bought the T-shirt? You got an offer for? I bought it a deal. You bought a deal or not? So this is what I will talk about. Okay, but think of it. Maybe you are going. Maybe I'm making some prejudice as well. Okay, you are going to another event. Somebody's wearing exactly what you are wearing. It creates a lot of problem for you because your perception is different. Okay, so there are gender differences. This one approach. Second part. Okay, academics and journalists, they talk about a lot of, okay, my content has been plagiarized in some. It's a big issue, and it happens a lot in academia and both. But in tech, we don't care too much on that part, especially on the source code part. Okay, we love to copy code, and we'll say that somebody copies our code. I don't claim. Okay, any on AI guys, okay, we're doing modeling images and text and content. We have no worry in that part. That's how humans learn, right? We see and read, and we are teaching AI how to see content, videos, content, audio, images, and text, and they're reading it from there. So we don't even have a common goal at current times. We have to say, like, what is common here, and how do you prove it? Okay. But what I'm saying is, anything after 2020, we cannot trust. Is it human generated or AI generated anymore? Okay. So earlier, big companies would hire very talented people, especially content writers, who will charge per word or per sentence, and that's how we'll do. Okay. Now, common person can go sign up with some open source account, and he can write a good blog, right? Earlier, when we used to hire employees, I was a tech company, we used to hire employees. People in tier 2 cities, we had a lot of struggle with them. So the communication skill is bad. So we have to have a city bred person to be manager just because he can hide that part. Now, this is what the point is, rewrite it in a professional way, right? You are following up on an invoice, write in a way, but don't be very stubborn. We can give that part. So kind of the language problem, language barrier will be broken, right? So a lot of challenges which was earlier, maybe So think of it, if everybody's IQ is increased by 20, 30 points, what happens? That's what we're seeing already. And few years, what if everybody's IQ goes even further? Okay. Think of it. I love to do certain things. I love to write code. I don't want to write testing. I don't want to do documentation. I don't want to do. What if everybody becomes jack of all? AI be the jack of all for you, and you do what you love. And that's kind of possibility comes to everybody, right? I want to cook, okay, and what if you have a robot as well? So already people are thinking only about AI. I'm thinking robots are also coming in a big way, actually. Okay, next 2-3 years we'll have a lot of robots on different cities will come in, because US will start immediately. Okay, because it's not the hardware per se. We already use a lot of machines. Okay, we have a mixie and a grinder and a fridge and a lot of equipment, dishwasher. What if all this could be operated by another machine, which could be a robot? Okay, so 1960s onwards, we had seen Jetsons and everything where they had robot at some way. Every movie had some kind of robot operating it. So why don't we have robots yet? The problem was it has to interact among humans, and it was a metal thing, and how people perceive it. Okay, in Japan, people are exploring that part. Can we have some for emotional support? Right? Can somebody talk to you in some way? So we are trying robots which can tell amazing stories, listen to you, right? Have patience for it. That's so. A lot of other problems are going. So people are looking only at AI. I'm saying stop looking at only at AI, and this is bringing other things into the fray. So think about robots everywhere, right? So a home robot or a pet robot in some way. So I don't know, a lot of things will happen in coming years. That's how I see it. Okay, we can't have one solution fit all. That will not work. Okay, another part is like see. Let's agree that's a left, that's a right. There is no more center, and they will differ. Okay, like think of it. Let's take a news part. Okay, so. Mandi constituency, actress is standing, and 3 or 4 social media accounts posted it, and now this person is claiming, okay, my account was hacked or multiple hacks. They have already given 4 or 5 explanation. Okay, do you want to trust it? Their previous track record doesn't give me any reason to believe them. If the account was hacked, restoration would have taken more time. So I don't know. So humans can behave differently. That's a whole part which comes into play. Okay, if there was a 3-body problem in Netflix, it's okay. Humans lie, and how do AI solve that part for them? So we have to look at other ways as well. Okay, so ideas, what is common? Don't put a single point and say let everybody agree on it. We can say, hey, this is a broad range. This is a range of within which we could agree and see how we can work on it. Okay. If everybody does exactly same, probably everybody gets replaceable. If we do different things, at least we are exploring more things. We have billions of people, and that's how we are expanding our horizon, right? That's how I see it.
Thank you so much, Senthil. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time today, and thank you for giving us your valuable insights. This is really helpful, and we are hopeful to kind of stay in touch and learn more from you.